And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
It's a common expression, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. However, what if the horse's mouth is filled with useful insurance tools? This is the exact case with the Geico app. Yes, the app is free and therefore a gift horse. However, look inside the app and behold, emergency roadside assistance, digital ID cards, bill pay. Get the Geico app. Look it in the mouth. Get amazing services. Thank you.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back. Back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go, New York, go, New York, go!
Hey everybody, it's the New York Knicks podcast, episode 323. I am Jay. How you doing, Mark?
Good. I actually think we should name, every episode should be episode 499. I know we're not close to 499, but I think every episode should be 499.
Is that so everyone gets ready for the hype of episode 500?
No. Just because the Knicks are, the entire season will be almost 500.
Yeah, the Knicks are such a tease with 500.
Never get above 500. Getting close. We're on a winning streak. Everything's going right. We lose the goddamn Nets. We wrote goddamn jokes about the Nets. We were going to make fun of them half the episode. You fuckers had to win the game. Lose the game, whatever.
Yeah, they've even gotten to 500 a couple times. It's just like they hate being over 500.
We're back to one game under 500. We're always almost at 500. Since the last show, the Knicks, let's see the 4 games. They beat the Celtics. Everyone was riding pretty high at that point. Everyone was really excited to stomp all over Brooklyn. We then lost to the Nets. We then lost to Memphis. And we beat Philly. One game under 500 again. Yes.
Yeah.
And we were going to make fun of the...
We had a whole bit to bring back cutting down the Nets, and we're not going to do that now.
I still want to do my top 5 list. I'm going to do my top 5 list before we're going to cut. Let's go over the Celtics game. Then I'll do my top 5 list about the Nets, and then we can go over the net game. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll make it a quick bit. And we were supposed to have who's supposed to be on the show today?
Mike Woodson.
He's not.
He's
anyway,
not. I screwed up. I postponed the show one day
without telling Mike Woodson.
Forgetting to tell Mike Woodson. So I am sorry, fake Mike Woodson.
On a positive note, we're having a meetup.
We are having a meetup.
We are going to drink on the 29th,
Friday the 29th.
At a bar called
Slate?
I
think so. Is that what it?
Yes, we are reserving the entire bar, or we're all just going to drink there and not reserve the entire bar. But we're all going to drink there, watch the Knicks play the Suns.
Yes, the Suns. Because we were going to consider getting tickets to the game, and the cheapest tickets are $70 before fees, so like $85, and those were for like nosebleed seats. Yes,
we had theories that we could get we were thinking about getting a group of people together and actually getting a suite. We looked into the suite prices and realized we need to get a group of really rich people to listen to the show, to do it with us.
Yeah, we're like, oh, a suite. Well, what could that be? I mean, if we get 10 people together, throw in $100 each. I mean, 70 for nosebleeds is bad, but 100 for a suite, that's not bad. And then we looked, and we would have to, like, for 10 people, we'd have to put in like
we need to throw another zero. At 10 people, each person throws in $1,000, and then we can get a suite.
Yeah.
Anyway, or 2,500. Any way you do the math, we're not getting a suite.
Right. And we're not, and I don't think we're even allowed to cram like 75 people in there, which is what we need to make that work. So.
Based on our budgets, can we cram 1,000 people in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so Knicks played a bunch of games. Let's talk about. Knicks are riding high, and playing the Celtics.
Yes. So Celtics.
Isaiah Thomas. What did the Celtics trade to get Isaiah Thomas?
Do you know?
Oh, I thought you were a stat guy. Where's that guy?
You don't know?
I know they traded jack shit to get him. I thought it was like 2 second-round picks, something like that. I'm going to look this up.
No, you keep talking. I'll look it up because you can't multitask.
I can't one task. I can't single task. I hate the idea of like a job. Like they're like, we need someone who can multitask. You know, actually doing two exact separate things at the same time doesn't actually work. Doesn't actually. I can't duplicate myself, so I am disqualified from all hiring. Every job description, what people need, I can't do. Anyway, the problem is, why does his name have to be like? Because you find him.
Yes, it looks like it was Marcus Thornton and the Cavs.
Trade deadline is over.
God damn it, ESPN! Stop it with your autoplay videos. I hate it.
Oh, we have two iTunes reviews to read also. I'll find those while you're talking. Because one of them that reminded me of one of the reviews says, "I learned jack shit from listening to your show," which is pretty accurate.
Yeah, we'll read the reviews after. So they traded Marcus Thornton, who's doing nothing in Houston right now, and the Cavs.
And he was doing nothing on their team as well.
And the Cavs 2016 first-round draft pick, which is going to be like the 29th pick.
Okay, it was a first round. I didn't realize it was a first round. But they really traded so little to get this guy, and oh my god!
Well, it's Cleveland's first rounder, so it's going to be actually the 28th pick so far.
Oh my god! I would salivate to have him on our team.
Yeah.
Why do we get the bad Isaiah Thomas? Anyway, he looks really good. Knicks still can't stop him, but the Celtics couldn't stop the Knicks.
This was my favorite game of the year so far. I mean, you had Anthony was going off, and then he gets injured. Then Porzingis.
That part was you really enjoyed how he got injured?
No. It was just like and then Porzingis takes over and he starts going off, and then he fouls out, and then Aflalo starts going off, and then in the fourth quarter Williams went off. It was like everyone took turns just going nuts. It was.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool because you kind of expected, okay, we're going to blow this game, and we did not.
Especially after Melo went down. I'm like, all right, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, it caused us to blow the next two games, but Porzingis is on fire. Everyone, and Stupid Hair McGee, or whatever the hell we're calling him these days, played really well. He's been getting a lot of rebounds lately, scoring efficiently, getting to the line. He's been great lately.
Yeah, he has. Jerian Grant played really well.
Yes. This was the Grant game. This was the game where we said, oh, my God, Grant's turning a corner. Oh, my God, this team's going to be so awesome with Grant playing well. He may never play well again, but that was pretty cool to have that hope.
This is also where you see the defensive deficiencies of Calderon because Isaiah Thomas just went off.
First of all, Isaiah Thomas is really good and really fast.
Well, he's really fast. Yeah, that's the problem.
Because Galloway doesn't really necessarily stop him either. But Cal, the problem is if we play a team with the two things that really kill us right now, you play a team, well, three things, good three-pointing shooting just kills us in general. But you play a team with really fast guards, we're screwed. And you play a team with really basically a team that's can really play in the paint, like big, like the way Lopez can play in the paint. That really kills us also. Mm-hmm. We're good against the paint against guys. We're good against guys driving to the basket and maybe guys that aren't necessarily like centers that aren't that great in the paint, but guys that are really good post-up players we have some problems with.
Yeah.
Why can't we get an offensive rebound?
Triangle. I'm blaming everything on the triangle.
We're apparently just terrible at offensive rebounds. I don't understand. Porzingis is 7'3". Robin Lopez is like 7 foot. Why can't we get a goddamn offensive rebound?
Usually you're bad at offensive rebounds.
Well, not offensive rebounds, sorry. We can get offensive rebounds. Why do we can't get defensive rebounds? That's what I meant to say.
Oh.
That's what we're really bad at. It's not even that, because we're actually pretty decent at getting offensive rebounds. It's that when we're playing defense, the other team keeps getting offensive rebounds against us. They keep getting second chances, and that screws us all the time.
Right. I mean, I would say it's because we're, actually, no. I have no idea.
No one boxes out? That killed us all week.
Boxing out is definitely a problem, yeah.
I don't understand, but Porzingis seems like he could be a very good rebounder. Lopez rebounds a little bit less than you expect. But we have Galloway actually is not a bad rebounder for a guard. Melo obviously is a pretty good rebounder.
Porzingis is a good rebounder.
Apparently no one actually is a good rebounder because we keep getting killed on the boards. No, we're actually pretty decent on the offensive rebounds. It's defensive rebounds we give up so many second chances. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this game was the best game of the week and one of the best games of the year. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, let's move on.
Okay. I'm going to read their iTunes reviews because I brought them up. They're really short. 5 stars. Zing Jesus writes, Grand, the Top Gun of Knicks podcast. Thank you. And then we had the, where's the 1-star one? Oh, well, I thought I had that right in front of me. Oh, here we are. This is Dynasty ROC. And the review is, are they actually Knicks fans? 1 star. I gave a listen, podcast 321. They bashed the Knicks more than anything, in my opinion. They didn't really give any basketball and your Knicks insight. If I did not know anything about the Knicks, all I would have learned was how bad they play.
Really? We talked bad about the Knicks after a 4-game losing streak?
Yeah, it's shocking. I think we should have done a whole podcast. Like, no matter how bad the Knicks do, we should say, greatest team ever, we're going to win the title. They're amazing. They're unbelievable.
Our show's just not for him. He wants. He was looking for Joey Knicknuts' show.
Joey Knicknuts show. Jay. I heard you want to give me a podcast.
Yeah, well, I think there's a.
You've been
there's
too
a
negative
fan
about the
base.
Knicks. The Knicks, they're probably going to go undefeated this year.
Yeah, exactly. There is a fan base that is looking for your kind of enthusiasm and positivity.
The Knicks are amazing. A Melo MVP. Well, the problem is, can you split the MVP award between Melo, Porzingis, and Aflalo?
I guess you can.
The real MVP. I'm gonna put on my ballot. Do I get the vote for the MVP now that I have a podcast?
Oh, you have a podcast now? You just set one up?
I thought you were giving me one.
Oh no, you
don't you get a vote for MVP if you get a podcast?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, then why do you guys do the show?
Beats the hell out of me.
Anyway, Porzingis Rookie of the Year, and Comeback Player of the Year. Melo the same. Everyone's getting a lot of awards. Robin Lopez and Porzingis Defensive Player of the Year. Aflalo, we'll make him Pope, and Derek Williams. He will be on the cover of Vogue.
There you go. See? So start up your podcast. You definitely have at least one listener right away.
Yeah. Knicks rock. So good. I just hate sometimes how they feel bad for other teams and let them win games. Anyway, Knicks are awesome. Jay, could you get me tickets to the parade?
Which parade? Thanksgiving Day?
No. When the Knicks win the whole thing, I want to go to the parade.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, tickets are free, but I could make a mock.
Can you just
one
get me
for
tickets
you.
or not? So don't go into the whole pricing thing and I can't understand that stuff.
Yeah. I'll print you up a ticket.
Okay, hook me up. Okay, cool. I'm out.
There you go. So thank you for the reviews. We'd rather 5 than 1, but
we'd rather get 1 than none. So if you want to give us a 1-star review and batch, just go for it. Who cares?
yeah.
Okay, so Nick's going to play the Nets.
We actually have moved up to the number 1 spot in iTunes again, so I'll take that.
Kick ass. Nick's going to play the Nets. I was talking trash all day about that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you may have got a little over-aggressive with your postings about that.
Anyway, so there's this article about. I'm going to go through it anyway. We're going to do a 2-minute cutting on the Nets. Not going to do that. But
this was the game we were supposed to be back to 500. We're playing a crappy Nets team.
We were going to go over 500, right? We were going to the game at 500.
Oh,
or
right.
we're going.
I thought we were 20-21. Oh no, we might have been 20-21 going into it.
I think we were. Oh, I don't know. Oh no, we were. I think we were over 500 going to the game.
No, we weren't over. No, we were. No,
I know. No. We were
20-20
500.
going into it.
We were 500 because we lost the next 2 and we won the next one. We're 1 game under now, so we were at 500 for the game.
Yeah, we were
This is the game to go.
20-20. I know Melo was out, but it's a Nets team who's starting Donald Sloan and Wayne Ellington as their backcourt.
Yeah, I mean Melo, we're gonna miss him for a few games, but he's back actually now after the Philly. Well, he's based on the Philly game. I'm not sure if he's technically back.
Right.
But either way, without Melo, you definitely is a worse team. But you figure we're gonna stomp the Nets. I mean, Memphis is gonna be a tough game, but the Nets. Anyways, let's pretend we're gonna win the game. And so I found RealGM.com had a 5-step plan to fix the Knicks, and I wanted to do a comparison and have Jay vote on which plan was better, my plan or the one on RealGM.com.
5-step plan to fix the Nets.
5-step plan to fix the Nets.
You said
Okay.
the Knicks.
The Nets are still garbage, so it doesn't even matter to me to beat the Knicks. I mean, whatever. Okay, so this is well, you can guess which one. Tell me which one you think this is.
Okay.
Step 1. Identify whether Brook Lopez is a player you can realistically build a 50-plus win team around. You think that's real GM or me?
That's real GM.
That's probably okay. So that's not bad. Because you want to know if you're going to be able to build around. Is this guy the concrete you build your team on?
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of money invested. If he's not the guy, you got to try and move him.
Okay, my step 1. Leave Brooklyn and move back to Jersey. Pretend Brooklyn never happened. Put no mention of Brooklyn in your entire in all your record books.
I like yours better.
Okay. Step 2. Instead of spending gobs of money on John Calipari or dipping into luxury tax after another round of free agent spending sprees, use that money to invest in infrastructure. Start with the acquisition of a D-League affiliate and go from there. I'm not sure what other infrastructure they meant, but
So, step 2 is to start an entire D-League franchise.
well, I mean, I guess get a D-League, a team where you could actually like develop players. Don't just go for this high-priced coach. Don't go for I guess any.
No, I didn't know it was that easy to just say, "Hey, I want an entire team." Just fit us in there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my step 2.
Seems totally reasonable. Hey, our team's pretty bad. Can we have an entire D-League franchise?
Okay. My step 2. Don't tell the current players you are moving back to Jersey and hope they retire when they can no longer find the team.
Again, I like yours better.
Okay, so step 3, real GM. Okay, Nets, I hope you're listening. Go young. Focus on character and build culture.
Okay,
So
well, that one makes sense.
It makes sense. So build a young team not full of assholes.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, if there's certain center that gets a lot of blocks on Miami is going to be a free agent, don't sign him. My number 3. Bring a lawsuit against the Boston Celtics to get those draft picks back because something illegal must have happened as no one would be dumb enough to actually willingly make that trade. There had to be fraud involved.
Again, your list is much better.
But going young and building character makes some sense.
That one's good. That was a solid one.
Okay. Step 4, prioritize. You think the Knicks are following this plan, by the way? Go young and no knuckleheads?
Absolutely.
Let's see if the Knicks are following this. The Knicks have realized Brook Lopez is not someone to build a team around.
Mm-hmm.
Not spending gobs of money, except if you're going for like the president of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going young, building on character, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of all the knuckleheads. Step 4, prioritize depth, fit, and shooting.
Sure.
Get good players.
Yeah. Assemble a team of good NBA players. That is a brilliant one.
But don't spend all your money on one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, or 2 guys, try to get a whole team.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks are kind of trying to do that. I don't know if they've really focused. Are they focused on shooting? Kind of.
They tried.
I mean, the team can't shoot, but I mean, the teams we don't have a good shooting team. You wouldn't argue it.
Triangle's not built around 3-pointers.
Yes, but they say basically, they said the Nets fans, sorry, we're probably not getting Kevin Durant. Not a shocker. Or in the same case said for Al Horford and Mike Conley. Okay. My step 4. Find out wherever the team is keeping all of its player information and research, all the Nets analytics, if you would. And wherever that building is, light that place on fire and don't even bother trying to collect the insurance money. Similar plans.
Mm-hmm.
And step 5, no more shortcuts.
Okay.
Okay. Are the Knicks doing that kind of also? Except for a shortcut and getting Phil Jackson? I don't know. The Knicks are kind of less shortcutty.
Was this the article that also named a bunch of players that would be impossible for them to get?
No, that's a different article. We'll talk about that in a second. So my step 5, figure out who you need to hold hostage in order to get Ben Simmons in the draft. I like my list better.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it was great that I did that. because the Knicks then laid a stinking crapper against the Nets.
Except for Derek Williams.
Derek Williams had a good game. Derek Williams can score.
31 points.
Seems like if you don't have Melo in the lineup, you might want to run a lot of the offense through Derek Williams.
And, it seems like every time I apologize to Lance Thomas, he then sucks for about 5 straight games.
That's true. He kind of sucked here. If he shot any better than 20%, we probably would have won the game.
He also had a plus-minus of -18.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Derek Williams, it makes you wonder, like, in, say, the Memphis and the Philly game, why he wasn't used more.
Right.
Though you know what he does? He does, which I understand in some points when he doesn't get used as much, because sometimes he goes out there and just gets destroyed on defense. And you can see, like, the Fisher probably being a good coach by saying, this will make us better if we pull you from the game right now, because you're getting killed for us, and you need to learn to play better defense.
I think we lost because Sasha played.
I have that theory. If Sasha even stands up, not even gets on the court, if he stands up, we're probably screwed.
Unless somehow he was a +8 in 4 minutes. I'm not buying it. I think that was a statistical error.
Robin Lopez, I don't understand. Sometimes he looks like he can score.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he hits like a big.
He's got this really weird hook shot where it starts like by his waist.
In the Memphis game, which we haven't got to yet, but I've just noticed in general, forgetting the Memphis game, Robin Lopez from like 15 feet, just like shooting, he's automatically going to miss. He's an automatic miss.
Mm-hmm.
Yet in the Memphis game, he did a hook from 15 feet, nailed it.
Yeah.
His hook is his best shot by far, and he should never shoot otherwise. But it's just anyway. I feel like he could score more. I feel like sometimes I feel like they should feed it to him a little more, and he could actually get some more points. I don't know. You feel like he could be a greater part of the offense sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, problem is we got a lot of guys who like to hold the ball. It's not just Melo.
Porzingis missed a lot of shots.
Isn't there supposed to be more ball movement in the triangle offense?
Sometimes it looks like there's none.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this like, oh, Melo holds the ball. Like, it seems like
Melo didn't even play this game.
Right. It seems like Aflalo does it. Williams does it. It just seems like a lot of times these guys are it's one pass and then drive to the basket or jump shot.
Or sometimes I've noticed there's so much passing because no one goddamn wants to shoot. And they'll just pass, and then jack of a shot with like 1 second.
It's like hot potato. Whoever ends up with it with 23 seconds off the clock, jacks up a prayer shot.
Do you know? This is a random fact for my life.
Okay.
I have actually added it up, and I have spent more time in my life looking for Waldo than Jose Calderon has spent looking for his offense. Sometimes, actually, he didn't play that bad today. Just sometimes I feel like Calderon should just shoot more. And I know this sounds crazy because some people think he's terrible, but if he looks for his offense more, he didn't actually have a bad game.
No, he's got a great shot, but I think that he has a really slow release, and he needs to be wide open, which means that we need more ball movement.
I think also, though, generally, though, the more he shoots, the more the defense has to concentrate on him, and the more it opens it up for other players.
Well, it definitely opens it up inside if Calderon's looking for his outside shot.
Or sometimes when he drives to the basket. Sometimes he can drive to the basket. It opens things up also. Just
look at that one-star guy. Real basketball talk here.
I've noticed on Ish Smith. I noticed Ish Smith today against Philly. Even if he's not shooting well, he drives to the basket a lot and creates situations where they can get an offensive rebound and get the ball in.
Ish Smith is never shooting well, by the way.
He's terrible. But no, he's not terrible. I'll take him. He's better than all our guards. Would you take him? Ish Smith for Calderon right now.
Yeah.
He got 16 assists.
I know. I was just looking at that.
Holy crap. He creates stuff. He gets the team going.
Yeah.
Philly has been such a better team since they got him.
I mean, if you could tell him you're not taking more than 15 shots a game or we're going to pull you and do everything else the way you're doing it, then he would be really good. He needs to be reined in a little bit as far as his shots go.
But he really opens up. He creates. When you drive to the basket, you create uncertainty on the other side. The other team can't just be as prepared because you're creating chaos, havoc. and setting guys up for baskets.
I mean, also for free, I would take him, which he basically was.
2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. We don't have that many second-round picks. We could have.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But we actually do have enough to. A second-round pick in Kyle O'Quinn.
No, wasn't he waived before that though?
Yes. We could have got him for free at some point this year.
Yes.
Yes. Though he was on a lot of teams, and even we were both like, But apparently, those that know a lot about basketball analytics, I guess Philly, though, that he's playing.
Wait, so Philly cut him, waited for him to get signed by another team, and then traded 2 draft picks to get him.
Whatever. Philly has 300 second-round picks. They own like a decade worth of second-round picks.
No, it's a great strategy though.
Whatever. Well, he was looking better, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if we sign Tony Roten to a 10-day contract, we could get some second-round picks from Philly.
Maybe we should cut Derek Williams and then trade somebody 2 first-round picks to get him back.
Yeah. Why haven't we used one 10-day contract yet?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's not like our guards looked that amazing. We had all this hope that Grant would look really great after the Boston game. He did not look great. He has not looked that great the rest of the week.
It's not even that tough of a decision. It's like it's a 10-day contract. There's no if you don't like him, he's gone. So just sign everybody. There should be a constant rotation of 10-day contract guys.
Yeah, you know what? Sign 2 guys to 10-day contracts. Hold a practice. See how they look.
Yeah, you don't even have to play him.
Just hold the practice.
Yeah,
I don't understand why not. Memphis signed a guy, Elliot Williams, who we see the next game against Memphis. I mean, he didn't look that amazing, but looked like decent. He's playing really well in the D League. Why not us? Why not? Our guards are so good. We play Sasha. No one in the NBA would sign Sasha to a 10-day contract, yet we have him on the roster.
Yeah.
Anyway, the
I don't
Brooklyn
want to
game.
talk about the Brooklyn game anymore.
Anyway, Brook Lopez looked pretty good. Thaddeus Young looked pretty
Shane
good.
Larkin gets 17 points.
Do you think we gave him a Shane Larkin too fast?
No.
Well, I mean, what is Shane Larkin? What's this? He's a very fast guard.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get that many assists, but he's a fast. I just like the fact that he has speed. He's a terrible finisher.
He's not good. I mean, they bought out Williams. Jack went down for the season, and he's still not starting.
Yeah, I mean, we gave him ample opportunity last year, so forget it.
I am annoyed that Bogdanovich went 0 for 16 and 2 points in his previous 3 games, and then played the Knicks and got 14 points.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I don't like that game.
It's really because we played Sasha, but obviously if we had Melo, we probably would have won that game. The Memphis game, This is like the Bulls part 2. I mean, the Knicks, they scored 22 points in the fourth quarter, so it doesn't look like they laid a complete stinker. But this game was pretty even after 3 quarters.
It was tied.
It was tied, yeah. And the Knicks were playing not amazing basketball, but they were playing pretty decent the whole way. And you thought it could be anybody's game. It would come down to the last, whoever hits the last shot, I guess. It would come down to the end, come down to the last 30 seconds or something like that. But then the Knicks just fell apart in the fourth quarter.
Now, I only watched the first quarter, but Porzingis had 10 points, looked really good. He ended up with only 17, but he also only ended up playing 28 minutes. He wasn't in foul trouble. He was hitting his shots, and he didn't have any turnovers. So he had 1 turnover. So why did he only play 28 minutes?
I was trying to figure this out. Fisher just randomly sat him for a long time. And what I get is Porzingis cannot cover Marc Gasol. But, interesting fact, Robin Lopez barely played and can't cover Marc Lopez either. Not Marc Gasol either. So you had Kyle O'Quinn on him, who really can't cover Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol is really good. It's not a reason to sit Porzingis when no one else on the team can cover him anyway.
Marc Gasol had his second highest scoring game of the season, which counts as a Knick effect. That was a question from Greg.
Yes. Goddamn amazing. Robin Lopez was in a lot of foul trouble, so I understand why he didn't play a lot. At the same time, I sometimes feel like he ended the game with 4 fouls. Why not leave Robin Lopez out there till he fouls out?
I never understand why. Is it like a shameful thing to foul out? I don't understand.
I think the theory is that when you have more fouls, you'll play
more timid.
Well, more timid, and then you're less of an asset out there.
But he didn't have 5.
Yeah, and like he got one really stupid foul. His fourth foul was idiotic. But I would say just go out there. I would say Lopez, just go out there, play your game. Whenever you foul out, we'll move on instead of just not playing you.
Yeah, you know what? If I was a coach, my players would be fouling out all the time because I wouldn't pull them. Why? I don't get the point.
I just don't. It would make sense if you're like, I'm going to really use this guy in the fourth quarter, but you barely used him. And the game was already. It was just a really frustrating thing because you really needed Robin Lopez, and not to play Lopez or Porzingis very much made no sense whatsoever.
No, they went with Williams
Kyle
and
O'Quinn got
O'Quinn.
21 minutes for no goddamn reason. Serafin was actually they put Serafin out there. He got injured. That's the only reason he didn't play the full game because Fisher was like, Serafin looks so great all season. I'll use him because he can't cover anyone or play offense.
When Sasha went a +6 in 2 minutes, I'm going to have to not have him in 15th place in the power rankings.
Well, the Knicks made a comeback at the fourth. Like they were down by a lot in the fourth quarter, and they made a Knick comeback, which obviously falls short. But the game was the score is not even the game was more of a blowout than the score. Like
Hell,
the
they
game
were
was
tied
the game
going
was-
into the fourth.
The Knicks looked so bad in the fourth quarter. They just completely forgot how to play basketball. This is one of those games that Fisher should go just like ream them after the game and just try to use that as motivation to like beat Philly in 2 overtimes.
Okay, so let's go on to the Philly game. This should be a
Grant,
game.
That's why I say Grant looked terrible.
Yeah, he did.
I don't. But here's the thing. Like, so stupid hair. I feel like they could have gotten him like more involved. He looked when they gave him the ball. It wasn't like Memphis was doing a lot to stop him.
Right. Yeah, this is one of those games where you got to question Fisher's rotations again.
Yeah, and Admison comes out, and I don't know. Like, I feel like what really threw everything off was that Robin Lopez got in the foul trouble, but he could do a better job with that.
I feel like Fisher's slowly going back to his 10-man rotation.
And this game, he started Galloway instead of Lance Thomas, which I guess makes sense. I don't know. He went to 3 guards, basically.
Well, Memphis was playing 3 guards the whole game.
Yeah, but we don't do the exact same thing they're doing.
True.
It's not like Lance Thomas can't cover those guys. Not that Lance Thomas is very good.
Maybe Fisher was like, I didn't know you could do that.
I don't know. It's just our guards suck. It's just like if you're starting 3 guards, we only have 3 guards.
Yeah.
I guess Grant also the 4th guard. Whatever. Anyway, so this game, it was frustrating only because you thought you could actually win this game. And you feel like Melo played, we definitely would have won the game, I feel like, again.
Yeah.
But did not work out. And Elliott Williams, not to say he was very good in the game, but I was just annoyed that I'm like, oh, there's another guy the Knicks didn't pick up. Anyway, so the Philly game.
This is one of those games that I hate watching because if they win, you're like, yeah, they were supposed to win. It's Philly. And if they lose, you're like, I can't believe they lost to the worst team in the league. So there's really
It's like arm wrestling a girl.
Yeah, there's
winning.
no like redeeming value from it at all.
Yeah.
And so the Knicks needed double overtime to beat the worst team in the league. Melo was back, but I feel like every time Melo misses a game, he needs like 2 or 3 games to like get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. 7 for 28 shooting.
Hey, Melo, you're coming back for an injury. How about you play 50 minutes tonight?
So I didn't get to see the game today, but I understand. I saw a couple highlights. So Melo tied the game in overtime. I mean, in regulation.
Yeah, hit a 3 to send it into overtime. Pathetic that we needed a 3 to get into overtime against Philly.
So it's actually one of those few occasions where Melo actually had a last-second shot.
Yes, because he missed all his other shots.
And you know why the Knicks won the game, though?
Wow.
How many assists did Melo get?
Oh, that's right. 7 assists.
7 assists. That
Yeah.
is a guaranteed victory.
Yeah.
Melo gets 7 assists. We should win every game.
Yeah, that is true.
Did you watch the game?
No, like I said, it was one of those where I knew I was going to get mad either way. So I actually thought it was a later game. So I looked, and the Knicks were up by like 5 with like 3 minutes left in the fourth. And I'm like, all right, we're going to beat Philly. And then I took a nap, and my buddy like texted me. He's like, did you watch that? It was a double overtime game. I'm like, God damn it.
I was running chasing my kids in Target.
That's the difference between having kids and not having kids. Mark's running around, and I'm taking naps in the middle of the afternoon.
I'm with my son's like, can I get this? And I'm like, oh, we don't have money. We can't afford it. And then I was getting something else. My dad's like, and my son's like, but Daddy, you said we didn't have money. Well, we have money for this. What about that? We don't have money for that. Fine, I'm not gonna get either thing. Yeah, why? I was wondering why Derek Williams barely played.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just because he's been so good on offense lately, but so I saw somewhere in comment sections on one of the sites that he was terrible on defense. Maybe that was it.
I mean, he only played 15 minutes. He was a -6, but I mean that's a pretty small sample size.
I just feel like Derek Williams should get solid minutes every game. He should be able to contribute every game because it seems like you just get him going to the basket, get him on a pick and roll, just get him involved in the offense. Good things seem to happen a lot lately.
I mean, Lance Thomas was a -9. He played 31 minutes.
Yeah, that's true too.
And pretty much everyone else was a plus. So
my understanding of the game was the Knicks were up by a lot in like the fourth quarter. They basically just put in all the subs pretty early because they thought it was a laugher, and Philly came back and basically tied the game.
Yeah.
So anyway, but then Langston Galloway. Well, I did see a little bit of the end of the game while I was at Target. I realized I had the MSG app, and when I remembered the game, I started and watched like the last. I watched like the last 2 minutes of the game, and Langston Galloway looked pretty good. He comes up big at times.
Mm-hmm. He's not afraid to take big shots.
Do you think he's going to continue to develop, or this is where he's pretty solid. He's not a starter, but he's a pretty solid reserve.
I think that's what he's going to be.
You think he's going to, and never going to be an all-star. Do you think he can get like? You think like he's obviously a second-year player? Like, do you think he's going to keep getting better?
I think he's going to get a little better, but I don't think he's ever going to be our starting point guard. If that's what you're asking.
I don't really think he's ever going to be a really starter. Like,
or even our starting shooting guard. I don't think so. I think he's going to be like a nice bench guy, maybe your second or third string guard.
I keep thinking about like the team. Like our guards kind of are. I mean, Flow's not bad, and the guards aren't terrible. But I also think like if it was a better team, would Galloway just not be on the team?
Well, I mean, yeah, it depends how good the team is. I mean, first
obviously,
Vujicic would be gone. I feel like you would dump Grant before Galloway.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to rank the guards, Aflalo is probably our best guard, even though he's not always consistent. But Aflalo is our best guard, right?
Yeah, this was another combined with Melo's 7 assists. When Aflalo scores over 20, the Knicks almost always win as well. So
yes,
definitely Aflalo. It would be Aflalo, Calderon, Galloway.
The problem is that Aflalo is reasonably a starting shooting guard. Not an amazing starting shooting guard, but then no one else is a starter.
Right. If you have Aflalo in your starting lineup, it's fine. If you have he shouldn't be your second best guy. That's what I'm saying. But he's a fine starting guard if you have if he's like your fourth best guy.
If you had a legit starting point guard with Aflalo, and then you had Calderon and Galloway on the bench, you would say it's a solid team.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So we're done with that, right?
Yeah, we're done with that. Do you want me to find those trades? I'll find those trades real quick. What else you got going on?
I'll go with Twitter real quick.
I think we had a bunch of Twitter. Do we have any emails?
Oh, we have so many emails. Let's do Twitter first.
Are you just being sarcastic?
No, we have a lot. Like the most we've ever gotten.
You're a total liar.
So Combs writes, he just retweeted Kevin Pelton from ESPN's tweet that says, I have Aaron Aflalo's production the next 2 years projected at less than replacement level. Good call.
Still better than most of the time for us.
Insider content, folks. You could pay for stuff like that.
Should we call our favorite ESPN guy?
Sure, Sir Insider.
Hi, Jay. Sir Insider here. I just wanted to. I heard you were commenting on my content on ESPN. Jay, we have. I feel like you've. What's your problem, Jay?
Well, you pay for your opinion, and sometimes you just make wild assumptions like Aflalo is going to be less than a replacement level player.
Yes. I also made the assumption Porzingis will be he will get a foot injury and never play again. You have to tune into you have to pay for the content to find out why.
You also did a 5-on-5 as paid content, which was free for about the last 5 years, and then you also had paid content talking about your 5-on-5.
Yes. So here's what we got for you.
Okay.
I'm going to give you. We have a whole Knicks section. So how good can the Knicks be?
Mm-hmm.
There's an article, paid content. Then we analyze the writer who writes it. We talk about what went into his thought process for how the Knicks were going to do. Then we do a 5-on-5 going over what went into the research that went into analyzing the guy that wrote the initial article about how good the Knicks could be. Then we do a roundtable where we discuss the people that were selected for the 5-on-5 and talk about how good their analysis of the Knicks would be, talking about the guy who did the analysis on the guy who wrote the article about how good the Knicks could be.
That is all that just for one low monthly fee.
That is actually part of our bonus content, which you have to pay for.
Oh, okay. So that's on top of the monthly fee.
Yes. So we've added a new feature, a bonus coverage, that if you want coverage of the team that plays within your market, you have to pay extra to get that coverage. And we do it. We get the location of your ISP or whatever the hell that is, wherever you are. And then we do, if you want coverage of any NBA team within 1,000 miles, you have to pay extra.
Wow. That is something you got going on.
Yes. So now, if you, let's say, living in New York, want to see lots of coverage of the Lakers, you just pay us one low fee. But if you want coverage of the Knicks or any team within 1,000 miles, you pay extra.
Huh. Okay. What about your bonus insider content?
Yes, it's our bonus insider content. We use the word bonus because we get more money when you pay for it.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a bonus.
It's a bonus to us.
Great.
Yes, we have some potential trade targets for the Knicks. I'll give you some freebies, which I'll send you a bill for later. So trade target, Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
He would make the Knicks better. Also, Steph Curry, trade target, would make the Knicks better.
Can't argue with that. Yeah.
Yes. LeBron James, trade target, would make the Knicks better.
I can't believe you're giving all this really good info away without charging for it.
We also have a feature about if the Knicks can make trades that involve time machines, who should the Knicks trade for to make their roster better? Turns out your favorite player, Larry Bird, would be a guy the Knicks should trade for to make them better if they had a time machine.
This is literally the kind of stuff that's on Insider stuff.
Anyway.
Thank you, Sir Insider.
No problem.
All right, back to Twitter. 5.
Jay,
what?
should I send that bill to Astoria? Is there an address?
No, there's no address. Just send it to Astoria. I'll get it.
Jay in Astoria. Okay, I'll write that.
Knicks podcast in Astoria.
Okay, cool.
So we are 5 followers away from 1,000 on Twitter. So follow us.
Holy crap. When we hit 1,000, you know what that means? Only 9,000 from 10,000. That'd be cool. There's actually, I saw a Bleacher Report. Was it the trade targets or not? We could keep going. Go with your questions. I'll give you.
NY Knicks podcast on Twitter. JH writes, what do y'all think about offseason perusing Mike Conley of Memphis and 23-year-old Jordan Clarkson from the Lakers?
So who would you rather get, Conley or Clarkson?
Clarkson.
Yeah.
I think I'm done getting guys who are 30 and going to be past their prime within a year of us signing them.
Well, Conley makes the team definitely better.
Yeah, but for how long?
Well, obviously.
Guards' lifespans are usually shorter than not guards. Don't you agree? Like, what point guard has been really good at, like...
Does it make you feel weird that when you talk about players being over the hill, you talk about Conley being 30, and I'm 36, so I feel like, wow, if they're ever as old as me, it's really bad.
Well, we talk about, like, decrepit old man Paul Pierce, who's 37, which is my age.
Clarkson's numbers aren't even that amazing this year. Like, he's averaging... Not that I've seen him, it's just that the one thing you really want out of a point guard is a lot of assists, and he's averaging 2.4 assists a game.
Right. But look who he's playing with.
Not bad. I still think he's a good player. But it's just funny that Anyway,
So Tristan writes, he sent a link to the Brooklyn Nets reportedly have strong interest in Tom Thibodeau.
I have strongest interest in putting a shotgun in my mouth if there's mutual interest. Oh my God, how mad I will be if Thibodeau becomes a Nets coach.
Yeah, I figured you would be pretty mad about that.
I would fire Fisher any game now to get Thibodeau.
Brendan writes, fire Fisher.
Here's a question for you. From 1 to 10, how much better do you think Fisher is from last season to this season?
6. He's a lot better, but he was a train wreck last season. He's still bad.
Maybe a better question. How much better from 1 to 10? We're 40 games in the season, 41 games to the season, something like that. How much better is Derek Fisher since November?
About a 6.
He does look like a better coach. I mean, he doesn't look like a good coach, but compared to what he was, he does look a little better.
The problem is with having a coach, you're not usually supposed to treat them like rookie prospects and say, well, maybe in 5 years he'll learn how to draw an out of timeout play. That's not really your goal unless you're like a tanking team. Like you're like, hey, young guy in Philly, do whatever you want because we don't give a shit. Like this is a team trying to make the playoffs. You don't do that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Brendan writes, fire Fisher if Kobe Bryant nominated Knicks as coaching destination, teaming up with Phil to facilitate an actual triangle.
Wait, you want Kobe Bryant as our coach?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know. On the one hand, I feel like he would call our team Charmin all day and just bitch everyone out.
Yeah.
Which might not be the worst thing in the world. And based on his work ethic, he actually has one of the best work ethics in the NBA, as far as what I've heard.
That is true.
So he would actually make players. He'd actually like work. The question is, like, Michael Jordan wasn't a good coach. Michael Jordan had all these qualities.
Right. I feel like good coaches are usually point guards.
Yeah, I mean that's the theory. That's why Patrick Ewing can't seem to get a job. I don't know. Would you give Kobe? I also am kind of tired of just like, how about we go with a guy that has experience? Is that such a terrible idea?
Terrible.
I would say generally the better coaches have more experience.
Yeah.
I'd say generally in life, the people better at everything have more experience than the people that aren't as good.
Yep. Let's see. This guy changed his name to the 4-year-old because he was the one who said he was 4 last time.
That's awesome.
Breaking news. Drake has taken Melo's spot in the All-Star Game starting lineup. Thoughts?
Awesome. Jay was excited for this because there's a good chance Drake gets injured.
Speaking of injury, breaking news. J.R. Smith just laid out Barnes.
Did this just happened, or
yeah,
this is on?
Like literally a second ago. Flagrant 2 kicked out of the game.
Oh, JR. Sometimes you. Well, Jay, you hate that because you like Matt Barnes.
I do, but I also like JR getting kicked out of games. So,
yes.
And the Warriors are beating the Cavs by 33 points right now.
Didn't they get rocked by Detroit the other night?
I wouldn't say rocked, but they lost.
Whatever. That's fine. They're not probably going to break the record for all time. They're not going to win 70 games.
They probably not. I mean, they're still on pace technically, but that's just so you have to keep that up for 82 games.
They still look great, but like they're not going to win 70 games.
Okay, so let's see. Next Twitter question. Oh, Carmelo's Brand writes, "Why did we almost lose today?" We seem to have trouble. The bottom 3 teams in the NBA, every year we seem to have trouble against. It's like we just play down to their level.
I mean, they are a division game, I guess. So we play them a little more often, so they know what we won the game. Who gives a crap? We probably almost lost the game because we too early in the game we thought, hey, we have this one, and we didn't put our foot on their throats.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in this article after you're done with Twitter. So tell me, you have more Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gucci writes, have you heard the Latvian rap song Keep Calm Like Kristaps Porzingis? I believe we played that right after he got drafted.
Yeah, assuming it's the same song. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys wish Barnes would have confronted Fisher during the game for drama purposes? That would have been funny.
Yes.
Apparently there was 5 cops, like, courtside, just in case, for the entire game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you tell me it would have been amazing?
Yeah, it would have been so funny if they just got into it.
I mean, I don't want anything to actually happen to Fisher, but it would have been hilarious if he went after him.
And the 4-year-old wants to know what our all-star predictions are for the entire 2 teams, which I don't think we're going to do.
Oh. The All-Star Game's on for a few weeks.
Yeah, we can't just do that on the spot. So,
I mean, we could. I just don't feel like doing that right now.
Okay.
How about Knicks? What Knicks are making the All-Star team?
what Knicks are making? Carmelo. That's it.
Okay. I think
Porzingis
that's
is
right.
up to 7th, though. Would you have thought he would be 7th in All-Star voting his first year?
Porzingis is 7th?
Yeah.
Only because, like, there's so much hype around him. People love him.
It's still awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he shouldn't be on the All-Star team. But, anyway, so this is an article. This is from a Bleacher Report. Has potential trades for the Knicks. And so first I talked about things the Knicks have been doing lately that's been better. So they had some stats I thought were interesting. Before January 2nd and after January 2nd, points in the paint. Before January 2nd, the Knicks were ranked. What do you think? Points in the paint. Them scoring in the paint. What do you think the Knicks were ranked? There are 30 teams in the NBA. See if you can guess.
24th.
30th.
Wow.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
After January 2nd?
18th.
8th.
Wow.
Wow. That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Fast breaks. Where do you think the Knicks were ranked in the fast break? The fast break. Fast break points before January 2nd.
29th.
30th. Dead last. After January 2nd.
24th.
19th.
Really?
Yeah. So point being, Knicks been playing a lot better in these 2 categories, very important categories, but there's still room for improvement.
Yeah.
Did you send me something just now?
I just sent you the J.R. Smith flagrant foul.
Okay, I'll look at that in a second. And then on the defensive side, this doesn't go through. There's no pre-January 2nd, post-January 2nd comparison, but just it's helpful also. So, opponent's field goal percentage. Where do you think the Knicks rank? Just for the season.
Opponent's field goal percentage. 24th.
9th. Knicks are actually playing good defense this year. Opponent's field goal percentage within 6 feet of the basket.
20th.
Are you even paying any attention this year? The Knicks are really good in the paint. They're 3rd in the NBA. They've been playing their defense. That's one thing you have to hand to Fisher. I mean, defense is playing a lot better this year. So opponent's field goal percentage within 6 feet of the basket. The Knicks are the 3rd best team in the NBA. Blocks.
Blocks. They're good in blocks. I would say 5th.
8th. Okay, so this is the good stuff. Defensive rebounds. This is what I was bitching about before.
15th.
18th. Not so great.
No.
Opponent's second chance points.
Oh, that one's gonna be bad. 26th.
24th. This is where it really goes bad. Opponent's points in the paint.
21st.
23rd. So, well, I guess opponent's point. I guess the Knicks are really good at so it seems like the opponent's points in the paint would mean that the Knicks are so bad in actually how many points they're giving up, but they're so good in the field goal percentage, is that the Knicks are giving up. They're playing good defense in the paint, but they're giving up way too many shots in the paint.
Yeah.
And they're just terrible. they don't get the rebound, the other team's pretty much going to score.
But I feel like that goes back to a guard defense.
Yes, guard defense is atrocious. That probably is a big factor here. Is that the guys on the centers, our big men, are making up for this, and they're kind of driven away from the basket sometimes, and this is what kills the team. So your guard Calderon doesn't cover the guy running to the basket, and Porzingis goes up, goes to the block, or makes the guy misdirect a shot, but Porzingis is not there to get the rebound.
Yeah.
Anyway, so based on all this, he's going to give up. They're going to give. Bleacher Report's going to give potential trade targets to the Knicks. Will Barton on the Nuggets, he's become potential sixth man of the year. He's really good. Apparently, there's no suggestion of how we're going to get him.
Just pick good players from other teams. Great.
Yeah, it doesn't even suggest how the Knicks would get him. What the Knicks were going to give, it doesn't even.
He's on a really good deal, and he's a sixth man of the year candidate, so the Knicks should get him. Good article.
Next guy, Nerlens Noel. Philly has two guys they've in the last 8 years they've kept on the roster, and they're going to give one of these guys away to the Knicks for nothing.
Right.
Why? They show he's really good at defense. Yes, he's a good, solid player, and he could develop into a really good player, and his contract's cheap. So, of course, Philly's going to give him again. They say, but the price could be high. Aaron Aflalo and a pick and another young asset are probably the starting points. So you're saying your plan here is to give away another one of our guards, our best guard, and we're terrible at guards, and get another big man.
That's a great strategy.
And also give away another young asset with that guard and a pick. And also, Philly is just going to give away their one of their two cornerstone building blocks for the entire organization.
The thing that pisses me off most about this article is that somebody got paid to write that.
I think they got paid. Maybe they didn't get paid. And also, Philly, if Philly trades Noel in this trade, the league should come in and take the franchise away.
Yeah,
you have to really get a lot if you're gonna be this. Whatever. So Garrett Temple on the Wizards, who.
He's a young guy that's one of the players that they're keeping.
That's pretty much it. He's a solid player on a good contract who's been playing pretty well. It doesn't even have a suggestion here of not why the Knicks would want him, because it's obvious why the Knicks would want him, what the Knicks would be able to give to get him. But he was in the D League for a little while, so the Knicks should have gotten him then, I guess. And the last one, actually, this is the last one, Mozgov.
That one is probably the most realistic because he just fell out of the starting lineup in Cleveland. He's been playing terribly.
Right.
But again, why, though?
They don't say how we're going to get him.
Well, how and why?
But again, also, we have a lot of big men. They just need to play better. But is he going to really get Mozgov and take away Robin Lopez's playing time?
Right.
How does it make any sense?
That's what I mean by why.
We're trying to give Porzingis more playing time.
And Mozgov is not that young anymore.
I mean, he's a solid player, but we're not a piece away, and we need guards.
Yeah.
And then they also show some commercial with Mozgov, which is funny. And then they just give some other dumb. Let's sign Baron Davis. He's in the D League. Where are they now? Baron Davis trying to make a comeback. Why not? Okay.
Emails? Chicago is phasing out Noah, and they're building around Mirotic. We should trade for Mirotic. He seems like he's a good guy.
By the way, someone posted. Adam posted on our Facebook page. We just made Ish Smith look like Michael Jordan. You are correct.
Also, I said Matt Barnes. It was Harrison Barnes for the J.R. Smith flagrant.
Wait, what did you say?
I said Matt Barnes for the J.R. Smith flagrant. It was Harrison Barnes.
Oh, okay. By the way, someone responded. So Andrew responded to that. 8 for 28 field goal, 16 points, 0 for 6 from 3-point land. And he got 16 points. So inefficient. Yeah, but he got 16 assists. That's a lot of assists to get against. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I want to see this Harrison Barnes thing. What else we got for emails?
Emails. We didn't even get to the emails yet.
I know. That's why I asked you for the emails.
Okay.
If we had gotten for the emails, I would not be asking for the emails.
It looks like we might.
What? Are you kidding me? What the hell's wrong with Jared Smith?
I don't know what's wrong with him. He's out of his mind.
It
looks like
it's like he's playing football.
Yeah.
What was his thought?
Who knows what he was
He
thinking?
puts his. I mean, this is if he was in the Knicks right now, I would never. I mean, this is hilarious because he's not in the Knicks. LeBron's just punched him in the face. LeBron is watching this, being like, "What the hell?" You see LeBron in the background, being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he just did this."
Somebody told JR the pipe was on the other side of Barnes.
He runs full speed, puts like his shoulder down, and just takes him out. Like he takes him out as if it's a wide receiver across the middle who just caught like the game winning pass.
So ridiculous. I just heard back from Mike Woodson. He's going to join us next week, and we might even have a new character, fake Derek Fisher.
Unbelievable. Thank you. I cannot wait. I'm very excited for Jay. I'm very excited for Jay to forget about him and reschedule the show without telling him. Okay.
Lorenzo writes, what do you think about Durant signing with the Knicks in the offseason? Okay. Well,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's great. That's fine. He also writes, did you get your Powerball tickets? Is probably our best chance to get the money to make the New York Knicks podcast Super Bowl ad. That is a good point. We did not win, but I am still playing every week because I really want to make that Super Bowl ad. Alex writes, was wondering how excited, annoyed, depressed, sweary, good or bad you get these days over Knicks games. Are you in a mood?
Jay and I actually won the Powerball. We're just still doing the show anyway.
Are you
actually
still no advertising though?
Actually, you'll know we won the Powerball if the show suddenly comes out 7 days a week.
Yeah,
that actually would be the because absolutely we would quit our jobs and absolutely we would just Jay. If we win the Powerball, if one of us won I guess like not that I'm giving you half the Powerball. Let's just say we split the Powerball and we won it.
Mm-hmm.
How many days a week would we do the show?
I would say we would probably do like the Knicks one 3 or 4, probably 3 days a week. We'd probably do Brink 3 days a week, and then we'd take one day to like
be with God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say you could see a lot. That would be my like. I'd be like, honey, I gotta go to podcast. I have a full day of podcasting ahead of us.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Are you in the mood for days following bad defeats, or has the team's form over the years meant that you come to expect disappointment and that you don't get that upset? Sadly enough, I still get really upset. Like the Brooklyn loss, I was really mad about.
I was really mad about the Brooklyn loss.
Nick Rex.
Yeah, I get too upset. Go on.
Yeah, we're still very emotional.
The last season was a season where at some point I stopped caring, but I stopped getting upset. But this year I'm getting upset every time they lose.
Yeah. Nick writes, this is where I hope everyone needs to see where we are right now. It cannot trade Melo. I think it's imperative that KP learns how to dominate against single coverage. As good as KP is, the true scouting and advanced stats aren't out on him just yet. In KP's second year, he will see a lot of different defensive looks, and he needs Melo to simplify the defense he'll be facing. In the Celtics game, I think we saw what the future can be if Grant develops, and like I said in my last email, I don't think point guard is the issue this time. I think DeMar DeRozan can be the answer. Also consider that Gordon Hayward, Greek Freak, Gallinari, I know you guys like him, but he's hella damn slow. Remember, get a more productive small forward to move a flow to the bench to deepen it. Also, Dennis Schroeder wants to be a starter. We may be able to pull a trade off with Atlanta.
I would take Schroeder. I like that. I like that. I don't think they're going to trade him because I think he's a true asset there. Like,
yeah,
but
huge
Dennis
game
Schroeder,
last game.
I would throw some money at Schroeder. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? Actually, I remember you were saying that question. One thing actually from the Memphis game that actually is important for why Porzingis didn't play that as much, and one important factor in general is that he looks tired as hell. He looked tired as hell, noticeably tired at some points, and I think that's why he didn't play as much.
Who did?
Porzingis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's looking. Do you realize that? Or did you realize that he's actually now has played more minutes this season than they played all of last year?
Yeah.
So that is important. I could see, and he even said, especially on back-to-back games, he does not feel as much energy. As So I mean, you figure next year he'll be more. He'll basically his wind will be more. He'll be better NBA shape, and that should make a huge difference also in his like development going forward. Also, Jay, Porzingis hurt his foot tonight. Is your heart beating yet?
A little. I mean, it looked. Fisher said he could have went back in. He was just being cautious. So I hope that's true.
I'm surprised you haven't been crying the entire show. I think he'll be fine. I'm not that concerned. You always get scared anytime you hear a foot injury, but I don't think this is anything serious at all. They said he's probably going to play against Utah on Wednesday night, which means they've already cut off the foot.
I would say, out of those guys you mentioned, I would say DeRozan's gettable, Hayward's not, Greek Freak's not, Gallinari's gettable, and Schroeder's probably not.
I also think, go through that list again, the guys that'll actually make the team better. I mean,
DeMar DeRozan.
DeRozan, doesn't Steven, who's our resident Raptors fan, he says he's not that good. He's not a great defender. What's the deal with DeRozan?
He's supposed to be not that good on defense, yeah.
Yeah, that's not...
But
okay.
then he posted something today, like, I'd rather never win a championship and have DeRozan on the team than win a championship without him, or something like that.
Okay, well, that's odd.
I don't care. I'd rather win a championship. I don't care who's on the team.
Yeah. You're saying this guy Hitler can ball? Whatever, put him on the team.
Gordon Hayward.
Hayward, I don't see how you're getting it. Utah's building their franchise around him.
Exactly. Greek Freak.
Milwaukee is building their franchise around him.
Gallinari.
Gallinari, I feel like Gallinari's never been. Do you think he's not that great on defense?
He's all right.
He's okay. He's slow, and you're gonna have. I just feel like the team is gonna be too goddamn slow. You're gonna have. I don't know. Where are you playing? Where are you playing Gallinari? You're playing him at small forward.
Yeah. That pushes Melo to the power forward.
Yeah, but I feel like you need a faster small forward. I don't know. I don't see Gallinari.
Play super big with him at the 2.
Yeah. I don't know about going super big. Gallinari is obviously a good piece to have. I just don't think like that's like the key guy to get.
Yeah.
We still can't guard anyone fast. Gallinari is like he's not a bad defender, but he's not really good. Like guys are gonna go by him. He's not going to be out on the fast break. And he's injured all the time also, so whatever. But he's the most gettable of the guys. And then Schroeder, I'd love to get. I think he'd be the best guy to get on the list.
Yeah.
I think we need guys who can actually penetrate. And I mean, I know Gallinari does some awkward driving to the basket, but I don't think like... Do you feel like part of what Gallinari would do, not that they do the same thing, but I feel like Porzingis is already going to do that stuff on the team?
Maybe, but I mean, Gallinari could be a pretty nasty sixth man.
Yeah, that's true.
Nick writes, trade O'Quinn for Nerlens Noel. I don't think that's going to happen.
Sure. We'll say yes to that part of the deal. I'm sure Philly will say yes also.
Gordon Hayward in the offseason, maybe a cheap wing that could play D and shoot. I don't think he's going to be cheap.
Didn't you start giving him a max contract?
Almost. He makes like $15 million a year.
With cheap wing?
He's not going to be cheap. He made $15 million a year, and he's like 24.
And they're going to give up on him now?
Fredette won't work. He may be a step back, especially since we need two-way players. Now, this may sound crazy, but I do believe that Embiid may be healthy, but Philly didn't want to play him for good measure to try and get him two from Philly for Sasha. Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Wonderful ideas. So we're going to trade Sasha and a Quinn and get back Embiid and Nerlens Noel.
Mm-hmm.
Could you, if you could just send us your number off the air, you'll send your number to Phil.
John writes, when KP leads us to a championship, are there any former Knicks players you'd want to give a ring to other than the ones who played for us in the 94 or 99 finals?
Yeah, Charlie Ward.
Didn't he play for us in the...
Oh, yeah, he did. What? I don't understand the question. Like, you're going to go, like, here's a ring for not being on the team because we just like you a lot.
Yeah.
Do teams do that?
No, you can't do that.
I mean, you could do whatever you want. You can give rings out. To like,
basically, it was like, what ex-Nick do you like?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who would do, like, Golden State, like, they won the title last year and they're like, hey, Chris Mullin, guess what we got for you?
David Lee.
Sure. How long was David Lee on the Knicks for? 4 years?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who, Jay, do you think they'll give, when Porzingis leads the Knicks to a title, do you think they'll call up Melo and give him a ring?
People are drafting up their hate emails right now.
I have to say, I think at this point in the year, we could say 2 things with certainty. The Knicks are not going to trade Melo, and it doesn't make sense to trade Melo.
True. David Lee was on the Knicks for 5 years.
I mean, the trading Melo, you're not going to the team benefits. Porzingis and the young team benefits of having Melo on the team, with, especially when we don't have a draft pick. And all the trade targets, just you're not going to get enough to really make it worthwhile at this point, because he has a no trade clause.
John writes, coaching, Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Thibodeau, and Monty Williams would be my dream coaching staff for the Knicks. I consider them originals and therefore Knicks family. Out of these 4, who would be your head coach and who would be your lead assistant? And did I miss anybody?
This is really easy.
Well, I know you're going to say Thibodeau.
No, I'm not going to say Thibodeau. Well, there's 2 questions to that.
Van Gundy?
Well, if I get to put one of them as my assistant, Van Gundy's the coach and Thibodeau's the assistant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's no question.
I don't think Mark Jackson was a very good coach. I wouldn't want him on.
I'm not dying for him, but either one of those, I would take. First of all, I'd take Van Gundy over Thibodeau.
I would take the guy the Nets just fired as also an assistant coach.
Would you rather have right now Lionel Collins or Derek Fisher?
Collins.
You think the Nets gave him a pretty raw deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's a team with literally no point guard, a washed-up shooting guard, and not much else. A center that's good on offense and not defense. Make the playoffs.
And at least we have nothing to build around draft pick wise.
Right. We have no drafts. We have no prospects. And if you aren't doing good 30 games into the season, you're fired.
Also, you got to fight. You got to play Bargs.
Right.
Can't not believe they beat us this week. Go on.
Kevin writes, wouldn't it be better for the team if they gave 10-day contract to someone on the Westchester Knicks than someone else? They already know the offense. And wouldn't it mess up the team chemistry too much? And thoughts on Tony Roten writing tape on his Twitter twice and quickly taking it down?
I'd give Tony Roten a chance.
I heard he's been pushing pretty hard to be on the Knicks.
Yeah, I've heard that, and he's supposed to be able to play defense. Why the hell not? I'm not in favor of Fredette because he can't play defense, as far as I've heard. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's gotten better at defense. I also just don't think. I think you have a scouting department. You don't have to just take from the Westchester. Take from any team out there.
Why not try it?
Why not try it? I don't think you should be so tight. I also don't think you should be so rigid about the damn triangle.
Oh, that okay. Kevin wrote again, and that new Porzingis, the Porzingis rap is new.
Oh, could he send the link to us?
He did.
Oh, do you want to close the show with it?
Oh, video has been removed by the user.
Okay, if you send us a different link, we'll play it on the show.
Thank you, Kevin. But yeah, that was an invalid link.
Yeah, I don't know. Who would you sign? Who would you give the? Would you think that they should give the 10-day contract to a guy, and then on the Westchester slot? Should you try to get a Westchester guy or different? Or does it matter?
We have 2 spots. Do a Westchester guy and a different guy. Who cares?
So far, no contracts because team's perfect.
Sprite writes. How
Sprite?
Sprightly Jet, actually.
Okay.
How handy would Mark Jackson type point guard be on the roster right now? I feel an upgrade at this position equals a playoff spot. Also, will your
how handy would what?
Huh?
Say it again.
How handy would a Mark Jackson type point guard be on the roster?
Oh,
right
okay.
now?
I thought I'd heard him like, how handy would another? It's just weird that like how handy would a Mark Jackson type point guard when? Okay, let's go on.
Will your husbands be joining us on the show at some stage?
Yes, they will be.
I don't even know what that means.
He called us gay. I just don't understand you like the idea of like going when a Mark Jackson type. Yes, obviously. Why would it not be useful having a very solid point guard in the team?
Yeah, I think having a borderline Hall of Fame point guard on the team is a good idea.
Having one of the best point guards in Knicks history, sadly enough, would be that would be useful.
Okay, he writes again. This is Stu. I propose.
These are emails?
Yeah, we're still on emails. Holy crap. We got about a dozen this time. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. I propose a trade. Vujabrick to the Mavs for JaVale McGee so he can be reunited with his long-lost brother, Stupid Hair. Also, if you noticed, the Blazers' backcourt reserves from last season are likely the frontrunners for most improved awards this season, McCollum and Will Barton. A little unusual, that. McGee, huh? You know what? I'm up for anybody who is not Vujacic.
I think it was a joke.
I don't.
We Stupid Hair McGee, his brother JaVale McGee. Did you miss that joke?
I did. I'm missing everything.
Wow, Jay. You were actually contemplating getting JaVale McGee on the squad. You're like, why would he want JaVale?
My brain shut off about a half hour ago for some reason.
Yeah, he didn't actually want McGee on the squad.
Maybe
I thought that was a clever joke.
This is
Thank
what
you.
happens when I
the second part, maybe you got confused. The second part wasn't a joke. That Portland actually, McCollum's been amazing this year.
Jimmy writes,
Portland's almost better. They're not better for losing Aldridge, but like
they're almost as good as they were last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading this whole article about, I think SI.com, who doesn't make me pay for content, had an article about how lethal they are because between McCollum and Lillard, the defense has to swarm on them because they can at any time they can drive right to the basket or they can take an outside shot and just nail it. So the defense has to collapse on them the whole time, and then basically everyone else is open.
Knicks fan since Melo followed up on that Mark Jackson question.
Yeah.
Would an Oscar Robertson type point guard be any good?
Okay, I don't think an Oscar Robertson would be helpful because having a guy that averaged a triple-double would not help our team chemistry.
It would make Melo jealous and ruin chemistry.
Yes. I assume when he says Oscar Robertson type point guard, he means a guy that used to be a Hall of Famer but now is 60 years old. So I don't think that would help the team.
Right. Jimmy writes. He wrote 5 emails. Great. Jimmy writes. Gallinari is on the trade block with.
Is this Rosero writing emails now?
No, these are actually legit questions. Okay. And legible. Gallinari is on the trade block with his expiring contract, and Denver wants young players instead of older year players. Gallinari is still only 27, though. I've been watching him the last couple of games, and he still looks really good. He's averaging 19 and 8 on 45% shooting. He's just on a terrible team. I think he'd be perfect for what we're trying to do on a team right now. If you're Phil, would you try and get a deal? And if so, who would you give away for him?
Sasha and O'Quinn. And we throw in Seraphin if you guys ask.
Yeah.
The problem, we don't really have young assets to trade. So if a team wants to go young, what are we going to give them?
Stupid Hair?
Would you give him Grant?
No.
And would you give him Stupid Hair?
Yeah.
I don't know, because the Stupid Hair actually adds something to the offense that
Gallinari
would not.
I don't know. Gallinari can score.
Yeah.
Gallinari can score better than Stupid Hair.
Yeah, I'm not losing my mind. Yeah, Gallinari's a better player than Stupid Hair. There's no question. So I guess I would, but does Denver say, hey, we're going younger. Let's get this guy who was number 1 draft pick or number 2 draft pick who has not worked out on any team until he's made an okay role, a niche role in the Knicks.
I don't know. Maybe they want O'Quinn or Seraphin.
Yeah.
O'Quinn's better than his numbers are. We just don't have any time to play him.
Well, here's the real issue: is that why would you trade any of these guys for a guy that's going to expire? Are we winning the title this year?
Well, he likes New York, and he would probably resign here.
Or just sign him in the offseason.
Why would we do that? We're the Knicks. We always trade up assets for guys who are going to be a free agent.
Yeah, anyone's expiring. What's the point of trading for them? We're not winning the title this year. I'm pretty sure about that. So just sign him in the offseason.
Jimmy writes, am I the only one who thinks Lopez is by far the most underrated on our squad? He rebounds, protects the rim, sets hard screens, and scores whenever you need him to. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
I feel like every year you have to say that about for whatever reason, wherever he is, everyone underrates him. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I feel like he just had a bad start to the year on offense, and that's why everyone's killing him.
I think he's rated correctly.
You don't think he's better than people give him credit for?
I think he's playing about what we'd expect.
Okay. Whatever.
I don't know. Is Melo still a top 10 player in the league? I say absolutely.
You say absolutely?
No, Jimmy does.
Oh, God.
I say no.
Can we play the game? Let's name 10 players in the NBA that are better than Melo. Steph Curry. We take turns, okay? So we get to 10. Steph Curry.
Kevin Durant.
LeBron James.
Do we want to go Chris Paul?
Sure. Russell Westbrook.
That was a good one.
This should be like a drinking game. You'd be drunk. He's got one eyebrow.
Yeah, I guess we could go unibrow. Although,
I guess, come on.
Well, I mean, he misses 20 games every season. Well, so's Melo. So
yeah, Melo's he's the picture of health. Yeah. Would you say Blake Griffin is better now?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Harden.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. Yes, that was amazing.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, yeah.
Are we at 10 yet?
We were at 10. You want to keep going a little bit? Who else do you think? I mean, like it's pretty. It's definitely top 20.
Yeah, definitely top 20.
And maybe you want to make some arguments, but like, I mean, if you just say who would I rather have, then the list becomes even harder. I mean, longer. Like, you say Damian Lillard? Would you say he's better than Melo?
No,
it's close. I'd rather have. I'd take Lillard over Melo in a heartbeat right now, but he's partly because he's younger.
Yeah,
and plays point guard, and we need a point guard badly.
Paul George.
Paul George, yes, absolutely.
There you
go. Anyone else? People can make like Marc Gasol. Is Marc Gasol better than Melo? I mean, different positions, obviously.
Right. I mean, he might be more valuable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we made our point.
On the positive side, Melo's better than Derrick Rose.
That is true.
Derrick Rose, if you're a Bulls fan, he's still a top 300 player.
He also writes, do you think LeBron or Curry is the best player in the league? I personally think LeBron is a much better overall player.
Are you reading the email, or is that your actual opinion?
That is his opinion.
It's hard to tell when you switch between reading the email and to state your opinion sometimes. It sounds like they're almost like answering the question.
Well, most people don't answer their question in their questions.
What do you think, Jay?
I think right now LeBron's better, but I think it's really close, and I think LeBron is.
Steph Curry's better. I just LeBron. Like, if I was going to say I need one player for the year, I'd still probably take LeBron. But Steph Curry's having a better season.
Steph Curry's having a better season. I think by next year, Curry will hands down be better. I think LeBron's on the downward trend.
I mean, give me LeBron like 2 or 3 years ago, I'd say 100% LeBron. Just that Steph Curry's playing amazing right now, and LeBron seems like he's lost a step. He's still unbelievable, but all
right, last two from Jimmy. Am I the only one who thinks Jerian Grant only passes the ball when he shouldn't? I feel like once he gets on the court, the ball gets stagnant, and I know you all say that about Melo, but he actually delivers. If you go watch the film, watch how many times he gets the ball and then just dribbles 10 times and then puts up a bad shot or turns over the ball. He has potential, but he needs to learn his role.
Yeah, no, that's pretty accurate, and that's why he struggles for minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He still looks pretty unsure out there.
Agreed. Am I the only one who thinks Sasha could just be a spot-up player if he could get some minutes in the rotation? I mean, he's always high energy. He just tries to handle the ball way too much. Against Philly, he came in and played 8 minutes and just spotted up and actually went 2 for 3 and hit 2 jump shots. If he knew his role, I think we could put him in the rotation.
Yes, I completely agree. You're the only one on the planet Earth that thinks that.
Yes.
There's no way. Sasha's horrendous.
Knicks fan since Melo writes, would you trade KP for Boogie?
You think Boogie's better than Melo?
He might be.
No.
No, I would not either. In 20 years, would Melo be
remembered? What's your reasoning?
Bad for team chemistry. I don't trust his numbers on such a crappy team. I think they're inflated.
He's still young, but KP's younger, and KP also gets paid a lot less, and KP's ceiling is probably higher.
There you go. In 20 years, would Melo be remembered as a Knick or Nugget?
I gotta say Knick.
I would think so too.
I mean, I already forgot he was a Nugget.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's if Melo went into the Hall of Fame, what uniform do they do in the NBA? Do they like? Do you have to wear a uniform into the like? In baseball, you get to go in with a team. Like the Piazza going to the Hall of Fame and say he's going to go in as a Met.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do that in basketball for the Hall of Fame?
Don't know.
Okay, well let's say they do that. Does Melo go in as a Knick? He's not going to the Hall of Fame right now.
He goes in as a Knick.
Do you think he's going? He's not going to the Hall of Fame, right? He retires today.
Probably not.
Yeah, he goes in as a Knick though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Derrick Rose going to be the first MVP to not get in the Hall of Fame? Yes, hands down.
You think that's a no? So you think? Well, Derrick Rose is not going to the Hall of Fame,
Right?
but do you think any MVP? Is he the only MVP? I'm just wondering if every MVP has actually gone to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
you go to the.
they have.
You already know.
Yeah, I didn't know it off the top of my head.
You're probably right on this. Like the whole, because it's always like the really is the true best players in the league. Let's say Durant's going to be Hall of Fame. LeBron, Rose, LeBron, Kobe Hall of Fame, Dirk Hall of Fame, Nash Hall of Fame, Garnett Hall of Fame, Duncan Hall of Fame, Iverson Hall of Fame, Shaq, Malone, Olajuwon, Barkley, Magic, Larry. I don't think Larry Bird's in the Hall of Fame. Moses Malone. Yeah, it could literally be the literally every guy before that is in the Hall. That's crazy how far Derrick Rose has fallen off.
Yeah. And Knicks fan since Mello wants us to grade the top 10 picks in this year's draft.
Sure, why not? 2006-15.
Towns. I have it up. So.
Are we grading on how they've played so far or how good of a pick it was?
Let's do a combo.
Wow, way to chicken out on that
Well, I
one.
mean, it's like... No, you do a pick on what we know now.
No, not like I just saying a guy like a guy that is going to, you feel like he's going to develop.
Well, take that in consideration, yeah.
Okay, for whatever, just okay. Towns, I give Minnesota A+. You do it every time.
Yep.
He looks pretty good.
D'Angelo Russell.
Overall, I give Lakers a C+ on this. He's looked better as of late.
I give him a B+ because I think he was still a top 4, but they probably should have taken Okafor or Porzingis over him.
I mean, going into it, like it was hard to say. You still think he's going to be good?
I think he's going to be good. I think he's the one who's going to take a couple of years, not Porzingis. He's the one that's going to take a couple of years to be really good, but I think he will be.
Porzingis will get really good in a couple of years. But yeah, I think Russell, I mean, part of their team, his team is just so bad, and who's he going to pass to?
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe his assist numbers would be better if Kobe wasn't shooting 12% in the air. Then again, no one needs to pass the ball to Kobe. He probably just steals it from his teammate. It's like dribbles around for a half hour and then shoots.
Sure.
Okafor.
I mean, I guess you give that one an A-.
Yeah, B+.
I mean,
yeah, even minus. I mean, the thing is, you can't give him a bad grade on this because Okafor is still one of the best players in the draft.
right, and pretty much everyone had the 3 guys we just said in their top 3.
And his numbers aren't bad.
Yeah. Okay. Porzingis A+.
Wait, I want to see something real quick. The draft analysis on this. Perspective analysis on this. This is fun. So this is draft. The draft scouting report on him from NBA.com. And just you can tell me you think these are strengths, measures, official height, 7'3", whatever, very long, mobility and athleticism off the charts for a player of his height. That seems pretty good. Mm-hmm. Excellent shooter with quick release, nice touch around the rim. Mm-hmm. Potential 2010 guy could arrive as a 4 in a fast-paced offense, or even a 5. Weaknesses: lack of aggression.
Nope.
Disagree. Still a weakness of his. I feel like.
Really?
Yeah, there are a lot of plays. I mean, he's been playing very well on defense, but there are a lot of plays where a guy's attacking the rim where he's not as aggressive as he needs to be on offense and defense sometimes. Okay. He's looking a lot. He's not timid, but he could be more aggressive. Wouldn't you love to see him have the same aggressiveness as Stupid Hair?
I would,
don't
but
know.
I mean, the guy's still taking 15 shots a game, and
He could be more aggressive.
Okay.
Very uncomfortable playing in the post. Would rather face up.
Yeah,
His hook has been pretty good, though.
yeah.
Frame still needs to fill out. Yep. Defensive awareness and rebounding instincts need work.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Mhm.
NBA projection, he may look like a 5 at first, but Porzingis will need to be molded as a stretch 4 to have a successful NBA career. He has potential as an offensive threat, but will need to learn to stop relying on his height and long arms to bail him out on defense and rebounding. If he gains strength to finish inside, his upside is very high.
Yeah.
I think he could totally be a successful 5. I think, especially in today's NBA, he could be a fantastic starting 5 for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think he needs to be a stretch 4 to be successful. And his arms have been, his length has bailed them out on defense pretty well so far.
True.
He definitely needs to get bigger. 2014-15 season, although the team was not winning many games, Porzingis is still having a solid year with Sevilla. He got the Rising Star Award. Reminds me of Paul Gasol, one cool statistic, one of the youngest players in the draft. He does not turn 20 until August.
He shoots way more from the outside than Gasol.
Yeah. What insiders say, the player will likely the most upside in this draft. Porzingis is a legitimate 7-footer with skill. He started to get more comfortable working down low in addition to stepping out. He still needs the core strength to defend solid posts and to keep his position to rebound, but you don't come across players with his size and skill level. He has a chance to be a top 5 pick. 7 feet. Let's see anything interesting here.
All right, let's move on.
You don't like reading about Porzingis?
I do. This show's been really long.
Oh, shut up.
And we didn't even start the Facebook questions.
There aren't that many this week. Okay, we're doing this list of rating the draft players.
Zanja's like a D, right?
That was not a good pick. Cauley Stein. I haven't watched enough. I don't really know how good he's been, but I know his stats suck.
I think I'm going to give that one a D too.
I wanted to draft him. Moutier.
See?
I guess. Denver, as far as looking, have played the best basketball when they have not had him on the court.
Yeah.
Stanley Johnson.
C minus.
Kaminsky.
C plus.
And Winslow. B minus.
I might go B plus just because who was left on the board at that point.
Yeah, no one's really looked great the rest of the draft.
I mean, if you think about it, Devin Booker and Jerian Grant are probably the next 2 best guys that were drafted.
Bobby Portis won 22nd. Do you think we should have drafted Portis over Grant?
Is Portis playing good?
He's playing well. He's starting instead of Noah.
Is he? Are you thinking of something else?
Am I not thinking of who's starting instead of Noah?
Oh yeah, he is. I thought it was somebody else. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, Portis is definitely top 10 in that.
No, they're pretty high on him.
Yeah.
Based on our needs, we needed a guard. So it would have been if he drafted another big man, we would have lost our minds.
Okay, Facebook questions.
Okay, Facebook questions. Ralph writes, "Is New York a real place? I have not seen it and do not know." And Grant responds, "I have been there, seen it, walked around there. It exists. I have not been to Miami or Cleveland, so they do not exist. I have the same theory about North Dakota." John writes, "Do you have anything else you want to add there?"
I was just going to say, don't believe Grant. It's a myth.
John writes, "Remember when I said the Warriors would go 76-6? Never mind." John writes, the Warriors now have 5 losses, so it's be a pretty solid run at the end of the year.
They have 4.
5.
4.
I have to go check this out because you're wrong.
They have 4.
Do they? Oh, they have 4. You're right. Screw you. Maybe I'm just.
That's why I said they're still on pace to break the record.
Fine, whatever. John writes, "Did Prokhorov seriously think he could just buy a chip? Did he seriously think he was the first to think of that? How dumb do the Nets look right now?"
Yeah, it's exactly what he thought.
Yeah. Steven writes, how dumb have the Knicks looked for the last 15 years?
Thank you, Steven.
Steven writes, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Steven thought of that comment himself. John writes, right, the Knicks should have been getting advice from the Nets for the last 15 years. They clearly knew what they were doing. And John, touche, John. Greg writes, you guys willing to throw this season off and trade Melo?
I mean, it depends what we could get for him.
It always depends. I don't think we've talked about what they can get. The trades, the scenarios don't look great. The best you're going to do is a late first round draft pick and some other guys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think we can get what would be worth trading Melo.
No, I mean, I would only see. I'd love to get high draft picks, like top 10 draft picks. You're not going to get that because you can't trade them to only certain. You're going to trade them to certain teams, and also there's probably some value for Porzingis playing. So here's a question: developmentally, do you think Porzingis is in a much better position than Towns is? Like, how much does it matter if your team's a good team playing for an 8th seed, say, a shot at the playoffs, versus a team that's a disaster all season?
Yeah, they're going to be bottom 3 yet again.
Yeah, so how much does that matter for the guy's development?
I think it definitely plays a part in it. Definitely.
I mean, Wiggins doesn't seem like he's getting that much better this year. Is it because the team sucked last year? I mean, Wiggins was in a better position. He'd develop faster.
Maybe, although Towns is getting mentored by Garnett, so I think there's something to that.
But like Garnett can only do so much mentoring. Like, hey, like these are all great tips for when we play meaningful games, which we're not going to do this year. I don't know. There's got to be something to be said for the fact that he's going to play. Porzingis is going to play in all meaningful games, and he's going to be. He gets to play with a bunch of actual good players who are going to give him good tips, helpful tips going forward.
True.
I got to think he's going to learn a lot and be a better. Like it was helpful when Duncan came into the league that his team happened to be actually really, really good, even though they had the number 1 draft pick, and he got mentored by David Robinson.
Right.
Not the same exact scenario, but I'm trying to think of guys who came in the league in good situations. I mean,
no. Harden wasn't bad because they already had Durant and Westbrook.
Yeah, that helped. Anyway, I feel like there's something developmentally. I'm based on what we're going to get, what we'd get instead for trading Melo. I just think it's just let's keep him and see how it goes.
Yeah.
You could always revisit. I could say at the best you revisit trading him in the offseason, but I just don't see it's going to make any sense. And also, Melo's playing. So, how many years left does he have? 3 more years?
Yeah.
Do you think his game gets that much worse?
Yes.
He's playing some of his best basketball now.
He is.
He's passing more and playing better defense.
Yep.
Not that you get so much more athletic with age, but I don't know. I don't see this being and you're hoping next year you're not playing for a high draft pick.
Right.
So whatever. Frank writes, what did Grant do to warrant having his minutes cut? Where would you rank Fisher among current NBA coaches? How many would you say are worse than him? So what did Grant do to warrant having his minutes cut?
I think we addressed that earlier, just not making right decisions with the ball, not making the correct passes.
Yeah, he still looks. Sometimes he looks good. A lot of times he looks bad. He doesn't look very good in defense. It's just on offense. He doesn't really know when to pass the ball, as you just said. Fisher among NBA coaches.
29th.
You're saying the interim coach for the Nets is worse?
Probably.
I would say if you're going to let's just put them in group. You'd say like bottom 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sasha writes, I'd like to see Will Barton with us. What do you think of the idea? Sounds wonderful.
Love it.
Wonderful. And 3 trade ideas for Calderon. What is your favorite? Jennings and Bullock for Calderon and Derek Williams. Okay. Or Jennings and Bullock for Calderon and Seraphin. Or Jennings and Bullock for Calderon and O'Quinn. So the question here is, who would you like to get off the team most? Seraphin, O'Quinn, or Williams. And if you're watching the Knicks all year, this answer is pretty easy.
Yeah, it's clearly Seraphin.
And his name rhymes with Erafin.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm going to say getting rid of Seraphin. And then number two, and this is O'Quinn. And 3, I'd like to keep stupid hair of all the guys.
Yep.
Would you say that's fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Grant writes, we just lost to Brooklyn, and we play the Sixers Monday. Thoughts? We better goddamn beat the Sixers, and we did.
Yep.
And the replies here were, what did they get my questions? Brooklyn game was only a 50-50 with Melo out. Doubt you guys lose to the Sixers. That was Steven. Thank you, Steven. Steven also writes, unless Melo is still out, I don't keep track of these things. Ralph writes, we better start balling again. And Austin writes, Melo is out today against... what the hell just happened here? Melo's out against... Melo's out again. Porzingis upgraded to probable for Saturday. Okay, Alex writes, can you guys comment on the situation surrounding the Bulls? Rumors they have made their entire front court available for trade. Rumors of D. Rose to the Knicks in exchange for Calderon and Aflalo. Jimmy Butler's play and Fred Hoiberg's coaching. So, D. Rose for Calderon and Aflalo.
Nope.
How about this? D. Rose for Calderon.
Sure.
How bad has his numbers been this year?
Pretty bad. On top of his athleticism, he's also lost his shot now.
Did you hear that? I think Kobe said he pulled himself out of consideration for the Olympics.
Oh, so he had a moment of sanity?
So Fred Hoiberg, the Bulls are playing good basketball, right?
Yeah, they are.
They actually have a good record. And they're one of the top teams still in the league in defense, right?
Yes.
So what kind of job is Fred Hoiberg doing?
I think decent. Considering he's had to deal with a lot of injuries and lineup changes and stuff. Like he made the decision to bench Noah.
Yeah. I would take Derrick Rose for Calderon. Even though it probably would work out against us.
I would too, but I mean, it's not like Rose is just such a question mark.
The Bulls are the third best record in the East. It's hard to kill Hoiberg for this.
Yeah. I mean, he has had to deal with so many injuries and stuff.
And I mean, really, Noah falling off the planet, seems like a pretty that's a pretty shitty way to start your coaching career.
I mean, he hasn't had Dunleavy all season. He's hardly had Heinrich at all. Derrick Rose has been in and out of the lineup, so that's a lot to deal with.
Daniel writes, who is winning the Chandler Calderon trade?
Rose has missed about a dozen games already, by the way.
Right, and the games. I mean, the fact how bad Rose has been and how bad Noah's been, and they're still the third best lit record.
No, he's missed 8 games. Still a lot.
Yeah. Who is winning the Chandler Calderon trade? You want to recount that trade?
What were the pieces? Do you have that up?
Well, obviously I don't. Okay, here we go. I got it. So the Knicks traded Tyson Chandler and Raymond Felton. The trade cost Dallas Jose Calderon, center Samuel Dallenbert, along with prize young point guard, they say, Shane Larkin, reserve Wayne Ellington, basically 2 of the Nets' prize pieces right now. The 34th pick in the draft and the 51st pick in Thursday's draft. The 34th pick ended up being Clancy Early, Jay, DNP shot. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Which I thought was hilarious.
The New York Knicks podcast. The New York Knicks podcast.com is our website. I put that as his comment for the Knicks roster player rankings. I post that every Tuesday.
Yeah, the 51st pick. You guys, everyone should check that out. That's actually no one else does that kind of thing, and I think that's awesome. The player rankings.
Thank you.
51st pick in the draft, was that the French dude? Yeah, it had to be the French dude, right?
Yeah, I think so. So the Knicks lost that trade.
Did they lose the trade because they gave up so much more, or because they should have gotten more for it? In other words, Is it that they got that it was traded was so one sided, or just that the Knicks really like should have gotten more for Tyson Chandler?
Yeah, probably more. I mean, think about it. Dallenbert was a bust. Ellington we bought him out. Larkin was a bust. Early so far has been a bust, and the other guy hasn't even made it to the roster. So basically, Calderon for Chandler and Felton.
It seems like they should have been able to get at least a first round pick for Tyson Chandler.
Yeah.
And people would argue that Shane Larkin was like a first round pick because he was a first round pick from the year before.
But not good.
Yes, but most first round picks aren't good.
Great.
Yeah, the Knicks didn't seem like they. I feel like they won the J.R. Smith trade as we look back on it, but this is not a trade they won.
Right.
Would you say they won the J.R. Smith trade, or pretty even at least?
No, we won the J.R. Smith trade.
Yeah. Who did OKC get again?
Who did what?
OKC get. Oklahoma get.
For what?
In the J.R. Smith trade.
OKC?
Oklahoma Thunder.
They didn't get J.R. Smith.
Who did they get in the trade? Deion Waiters. That's what I was thinking of. You remember that trade Deion Waiters went to OKC?
Oh, I forgot it was a 3-team.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say is, like, do we screw up by not getting Deion Waiters in the trade?
I mean, I'd rather... what was it? We got Lance Thomas, though.
We got Lance Thomas. That was like the big...
That's
we
fine.
got rid of Shumpert's contract. Shumpert wouldn't be on the team anyway this year. Lance Thomas isn't pretty good. Would you rather have Lance Thomas or Deion Waiters?
Probably Lance Thomas.
Yeah. Deion Waiters. Lance Thomas, I think, is actually having a better season offensively. Definitely defensively and better offensively.
Yeah.
Okay. We are almost done with the show. Could you go through each NBA team and talk about their strengths and weaknesses?
Each
for
team?
I'm just kidding. That's not a question. But wouldn't it be great if we're almost done with the show and we have to go through each team? Greg writes, we have a couple more. Greg writes, with the Knicks losing to Brooklyn without Melo, does this mean that the Kristaps needs Melo? I think it means it's helpful to have Melo playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Greg writes, predictions for the next 5 games. That's a reasonable thing to do. Do you have the next 5 games up?
Yeah, I do. The next 5 games are home against Utah on Wednesday.
Win.
Home against the Clippers on Friday.
Loss. Utah actually looked really good.
That'll be us getting back to 500 and then falling below immediately.
Yeah.
Away against Charlotte Saturday. Should be a win.
Win.
Right?
Yeah.
Right back up at 500. And then home against Oklahoma City on Tuesday.
Loss.
Back below 500. And then at Toronto.
I'm going to say win only because I want that badly because Steven's a Toronto fan.
Yeah.
Daniel writes, KP seems to be streaky on offense. What can he do to maintain consistent form? He has a couple more parts to the question, but I think part of it is just that he's getting gassed.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think the biggest thing he can do is be in better NBA shape next season. He's not going to, there's not much, the thing is he's going to have to, really push through the rest of the season. It's hard. They always say, it's hard to adjust from, one level to the next with, how many more games you're playing.
Yeah.
Second part of this question, how important is Melo? Very.
Yeah.
Quite. If you have a thesaurus, we can look up more.
Superlative words.
Yeah. If the Knicks stay healthy and miss the playoffs, will the season be a disappointment considering how well they play when healthy?
Yeah, it would be slightly disappointing. It's just frustrating that the East got so much better.
Yeah, I agree. There was a theory. I was let me listen to the radio. I forget what I saw. Heard this theory. That the 54 win team wasn't as good as you remember because the East was so weak that season.
Well, 54 wins is still good no matter who you're still playing 30 games against the West.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was a very streaky team also, but
I mean, how like 30 games is, it's like 40% of the season against the West.
Yeah.
So that's just stupid. Don't be stupid with your statements.
Well, it's just saying there are a lot of teams that like there are a lot of less challenging games also.
Great.
It's a fair point. John writes, do you think KP will play Summer League? I think he should just focus on strength training and skill development and not play.
I think he should do both. Summer League's only like 8 games, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd actually be surprised to play Summer League.
It's hardly any games. I think that's fine.
If I had to, I would say he should work with Olajuwon.
Isn't it even less than 8 games?
It's probably less. It's a bunch of practices. I don't know. I don't know how much you really need. I mean, I feel like he could just work on. I think that's right. I think if he can work on his shooting, his strength training, work on take some lessons from Olajuwon because apparently the Knicks always do that, and it would help him.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to play Summer League. I don't know how helpful it. Like, is it the most helpful thing in the world playing Summer League?
No, but I mean, I feel like it's still more playing experience. It's another look at other players. It's keeping his stamina.
They're basketball games when other basketball games aren't going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's keeping his stamina up.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the opposite. The fact that he's gonna have played so many more games, he's gonna more than double his minutes from last season. Then maybe be good for him to get a little extra rest.
I guess.
I don't know.
I feel like, playing 15, 20 minutes a game for 6 games in the middle of the summer isn't terrible for his stamina.
Or maybe Thibodeau takes over and plays him 48 minutes a game for the summer.
Could be.
What did we learn today?
We didn't do the big announcement. JD and the Straight Shot has a new album.
I thought you were coming out gay, but okay.
Yeah. I go onto iTunes and I see in the new album releases JD and the Straight Shot.
Could you have the track listings?
I could, yeah. Give me a second.
Okay, I can't believe you don't have all that pulled up. I can't believe it's not a bigger news. Should he have like a concert on MSG to for the album release?
He should, doesn't he own the station? You would think they'd have JD and Straight Shot concerts on that channel way more often.
Yeah. He does Billy Joel to death.
I don't know. It's a guy with an ego like that, you'd think he'd plaster stuff all over the place.
It's weird. I don't see it on his Wikipedia page.
Well, looks like.
Are you sure? I see a 2014 release.
He comes out with albums that often?
I don't know. You're talking about this release.
Yeah.
While you're on this, I'm going to edit the 2014 release. Okay. Palm Reader is going to be changed to
Harry Palms.
Porzingis in my Ingus.
So the tracks are Empty, Better Find a Church, Under That Hood, Perdition, Glide, Nature's Way, Don't Waste My Time, Ballyhoo, Hard to Find, Here He Comes, I'll See You Again.
KP Love in my Ingus. Hard to find a KP to put in my Ingus. I don't know why I like this phrase. Under the Hood. I don't know. Do you have any good things I should put on this page?
What are you editing?
JD and Stretch Out's page.
Oh.
Listen to the next podcast.
Yeah, why don't you put album released October 24th, produced by the New York Knicks podcast.
I'm gonna put what's your home address, Jay? Get some guards. Okay, let's publish this stuff. How long do you think it'll be a save page? How long do you think this will be here for?
I don't know, because they like it was the fake names from like a year ago were up for like months, but then a lot of people started like editing stuff and it got changed right away. So I don't know.
So it's right. The track listing is now Porzingis in my Ingus, KP Love in my Ingus. Hard to find KP to put in my Ingus. Listen to the Knicks podcast. I can't wait for the season. This letter.
You put get some guars.
And get some guars, which is not an actual edit. Okay. What did we learn from today?
Listen to the Knicks podcast. Gee, I wonder who did that edit.
Who cares? They could probably figure it out. They probably have these fancy computers that can figure this shit out. I wonder how long this will be on here for. Wouldn't it be amazing? Because there's is this mentioned anywhere?
All right.
Okay.
So
How do you know we did it? We loaded your podcast and you admitted on the air. Oh, okay, cool. You got us.
I can't believe you figured that caper out.
Okay. What did we learn today? We learned that we should all be listening to JD and the Straight Shot. Okay, we're out.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week. Leave us an iTunes review. Preferably 5 stars.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Everybody.
There is more to me, Queen Eliara of Elfgard, than my elven magic. Just as there's more to Geico than saving you money, Geico also gives you 24/7 access to licensed agents online, on the phone, or on the Geico app. And while I am a mighty elf queen, I am also a mighty big fan of barbecue potato chips. Minions! More smoky mesquite.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.